My name is Mackenzie, and I've been going on the ICHML Yucatan medical trip for about 4 years now. We get to interact with a lot of people on all of our trips. I think from an aspect on my end, the translators, I've seen a lot of growth with them. We use our translators a lot to help us to communicate between the people and ourselves in all the languages, and we've seen some of the translators multiple years in a row. So just getting to see growth in them, honestly, has been an incredible experience. And then also just the people that we come in contact with that we've grown to know and love down there. We see some of the same people. We see a lot of new people that come through the clinic. But it's nice when they come and they just know that you're back, and they're excited to see you. And they're, sometimes they come just because they want to get prayed for, and they know that we're there to pray for them and to help them. So just that experience of seeing them again and getting to pray and hear what's, new in their life and everything is great. Yeah, so I would say for growth in my life and our team, I remember going on the first trip and I only knew a couple people. By the end, we felt like a family. There was about 15 of us, and we all, knew each other very well by the end. Over the last couple of years, we've grown to have over 20 people go down each time, and it's still the same kind of experience where you don't really know everybody going into it, and you come out and you're very familiar with everybody, and you've kind of grown with each other throughout the trip. I would say for myself, I have been just very thankful to have a time where I can go down and be on this trip and just separate from life at home and get to go down and prepare myself to help take care of others. I do that for my job up here as a nurse, but getting to go down to Mexico and do this is a different experience. I don't get an opportunity to pray with patients at work up here in the US, so getting to go down to Mexico and have that opportunity has been great. I feel like it just gives me a second to step back and to just hear what other people are struggling with too. And you don't have to rush through talking to them. You get to just sit there. Sometimes they come in for something simple like a cough or, a sore throat, and then we find out a whole different aspect of their life and things they're struggling with. So I guess just getting to sit there with them, talk with them, and then reflect on it myself, and just, get to share my love of Jesus with them as well has been great. I would encourage anybody to just do it. Just jump in and go. You don't have to have medical experience for all of these trips. Some of them are geared towards different areas, whether it's family or dental or medical. But one of the things I've learned is God uses kingdom work in every way. And so even if you are going on a trip with those who work in the medical field, we can help use people of any experience, of any background, and God will use you on the trip as well. So just jumping in and not being nervous, but at the same time having a little bit of nervousness is okay, being in a different area. But yeah, just being willing to let God move and use you wherever he sees fit.
My name is Hanna. I have been going to ICHML for almost 10 years now. This coming winter will actually be my 13th trip. I started going back in January of 2016. It's actually right after I passed my nursing boards and graduated nursing school. There was a trip being planned while I was graduating school, so I didn't really get a chance to sign up for anything, didn't know what my life was going to look like quite then. And the week before the trip, I was actually wandering the halls on a Wednesday night, ran into Irma Messner, and she had heard that there were some openings on the trip that was leaving Saturday. I hadn't found a job yet as a nurse, so she had encouraged me to reach out to Fred and Sandy Muffet, and by Friday afternoon, I had gotten the go-ahead to hop on a plane with, I think it was 15 people I didn't know, and I headed to ICHML for the first time, and it has truly changed my life. Over the years, I've seen a ton of different ways that God's been moving in the lives of people in ICHML. There's one particular woman that I always think of, and there was a year we were supposed to be doing a clinic in Chickensonot, and when we rolled into the community, we were told that we couldn't have the clinic where they had been planning for us to go. So we're all kind of just standing around in the middle of town, kind of waiting to figure out what we're going to do. And there was a woman who owns a little tienda on the opposite side of the square where we were supposed to be setting up, who just opened her home to us and her store with just the biggest heart and just allowed us to take over her life for the day. She let us use her restroom, her store, a little side room, and we just set up shop there for the day. At the end of the day, she came through the clinic herself, and we were able to treat her. And at the end of treating her, she asked us to quickly go check on her husband as well, who we found out had suffered a stroke a couple weeks prior. He was diabetic as well, so he couldn't really eat anything, and they were really worried about how they were going to be able to take care of him. He was the provider of their family and no longer could do that. So we were able to love on them. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks later, he did pass away. But that summer, I had the opportunity to go back with a bunch of our high school and young adult kids, and we were able to check in on her again. We spent the week in Chickensanot, and as soon as we walked up to her tienda, she knew exactly who I was, a woman that I had interacted with for a day and not even fully for the day, but she knew exactly who I was and where I had come from, and you could tell that she knew that something was different, and it was definitely the Lord working through us. Still to this day, even this past year, every time we're in Chickensanot, we go and check on her. They have built a dome right next to her house now, so we have run our clinics out of that dome the last 2 years, but we always make that time to spend with her, and she loves on us just as much this year as she has over the years. God's worked a lot in my own life through these trips. I was a very scared, very new nurse when I started going. I hadn't practiced on my own, had gone through the 4 years of school needed to become a nurse and pass my boards, but I remember standing in the clinic that first year looking around at some really seasoned, experienced nurses who had full careers back in the States, and you knew that they had been doing missions in different places and different times in their lives as well, and just feeling completely overwhelmed with what was ahead of me in my career and if I even belonged in that spot at that point in time. It's kind of crazy now to think back of how I felt and just to see the Lord and how He's equipped me. I think I have a lot more compassion for my patients and for the people that I interact with in my normal day-to-day job than I would have if I had not gone to Itchmul and the Lord has not worked in my heart in the way He has. Today, I run a department here at a hospital, and I'm also the person that is kind of in charge of the clinics in Itchmul as well. So I do all of the logistics plannings of making sure we have all the supplies we need and the medicines we need, and then making sure that we're all set up for the day throughout the clinic, and kind of the go-to person when anybody has a question. The Lord is my strength in those moments. I could not do it without Him, and it really is just a great reminder of how much I need to rely on Him when I'm down there, and that I can't do it all on my own. If you felt the call or felt like a little tingling inside your heart where the Lord's saying, hey, maybe you should go, or you're questioning it yourself, I cannot recommend just trusting the Lord and jumping in and going. That was, I think, the best decision I made 10 years ago when I jumped on a plane with people I didn't know with less than 24 hours notice. And I have seen the Lord work in incredible ways. You might not think you have a role or that you can use your skill set, but you will be very surprised in the ways that the Lord presents those opportunities to you while you're there. He has a plan, and if He's placing this call in your heart, trust that He will provide for you while you're there, and just go for it.
My name's Chase Donnelly, and I've been blessed to be able to go to Mexico, to the Yucatan for probably 8 trips now. I've been going since 2015, and just had that awesome blessing to keep going back, and it's been a blast. The cool thing about going to the same place multiple years is you get to see just how God impacts the people and works through us and our teams that go there to further His kingdom. And you're able to see growth that if you do a one-time short-term trip, you don't really get to see. Like, we've seen tons of change in just the people that we interact with, attitude towards us, and then subsequently towards who Jesus is, which is awesome. We've seen leadership growth. We've seen just even structural infrastructure growth and with the compound and where we stay. I'd say probably the most awesome thing was to get to meet Eli and Selene and just have them come on board with Mission House and kind of serving that community in Ichmul, and seeing them kind of grow into the amazing missionary leaders that they are. And from that beginning, when we're first getting our feet wet, establishing relationships, to seeing how both of them just pour into that community and just share Christ's love. Like, when I now think of, like, what does a missionary look like that's invested in God's mission, I think of Eli and I think of Selene, and just what amazing work God has done in them, to then they're just pouring out their lives for these people. And yeah, just great friendships that I've developed with them over the years. And yeah, just seeing how God continues to work through them, impacting that community. Yeah, there's been many people that you go down there and you might not know their name exactly, but you're like, I've seen you before, and we're seeing you again, and year after year you continue to come back. One of my favorite interactions was, it was one of those people that I can't recall her name specifically, but we would see her at the clinic. She would come, get a checkup. She wasn't one that was super sick or had a lot of medical needs, but she had things that needed taken care of. And I remember talking with her in the trailer, and she had maybe aches and pains from doing work and her normal day-to-day interactions and jobs and housework. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna help this lady with her daily life to feel a little bit better. And at the end, we try to pray for everybody, pray over everybody. And I asked her, like, can we pray for you? And this is someone that had been there, and they're comfortable with us. And she's like, well, yeah, that's the reason I came here. Like, she didn't care about the medical, anything like that. She knew that that we brought Jesus, and that's what she wanted, was that prayer and that love. And to just see multiple relationships like that build to where they're excited to see us, not because of necessarily it's us coming down to see them, but they know that we bring the message of Jesus, and they want that prayer, they want that interaction, which is awesome. There's also a gentleman in the city of Ekpeds that I've seen multiple years in a row. I believe his name's Bernardo. He is wheelchair bound. He's an alcoholic. He would always roll up at some point, during the clinic day, usually intoxicated, just seeking to talk with somebody. Sometimes going through a little bit of DTs and withdrawal type symptoms, which there's not a ton that we can do. There's a lot of alcohol abuse down there, especially in the men that you do see, and sometimes hidden as well, but he was an obvious picture of that. And usually he's just there, give me some vitamins, give me some medicine for pain, and I'll be on my way. But he comes back every year, and we always pray over them. Nothing really kind of sticks, it feels like. I think a couple years ago he had even fallen, and he had a cut on his head, multiple abrasions that we kind of cleaned and dressed. But this past year, he had recently lost a couple friends to their alcohol addiction. And he was very tearful, very remorseful, and talking with them, he wasn't ready to accept Jesus or follow him, but he wanted to hear about him. He wanted that prayer, which he has not done before. So God has been working in him through these tragedies, and seeing his own failures and sins and detriment to his own health in his community. And I think he's working in him, and That's one of my prayers, is that God would continue to do that, and that maybe we'll see him again as we keep going back, and that not only will he have an interest, but God will plant that seed that'll grow into a life change for him. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about these mission trips, and being 100% into God's mission. You gain so much out of these trips, probably I feel like more than even some of the people you're serving down there. And you can see that as you come back, and you just feel this fire for God as you see him working. Sometimes I know I get caught up in the busyness of life with kids and work and tasks, that we get too caught up in that and don't see how God's working day to day. And just to have that step out of your normal to see how God moves. And the big thing for me is just to feel his love and feel his presence. As you're down there and you're doing devotionals in the morning, and then you're seeing these people come in that have nothing, and talking with them, and they're happy and they're laughing and they're so thankful. Just how God stirs in that my heart, that I'm so grateful for what I have, and so grateful that I'm able to know him and to hear about him daily. That these people, when we first started down there, most of them didn't even know who Jesus was or what even that meant. But to be blessed to know the Creator and Savior of the world, and so that we can share that. And so it's, just bringing things back home, to being willing to tell people about who Jesus is and share his love, to know that I am loved, and that even though I may feel inadequate and that I don't have the skills or whatever to do God's work, that he perfects our imperfections, that he makes us adequate, that he chooses us to do that. So I really just feel the love of God going on these trips, in my heart as well, and that allows us to pour those out. But trying to bring that back home to be grateful, to be thankful, and then to be bold here, where it's sometimes harder to share who Jesus is and have tough conversations with people that you see every day at work or at on your day-to-day life. If you're considering going to Mexico and you're on the fence and you don't know if this is for you, I would totally encourage you to take that leap. Personally, I know that was me for my first trip. I saw the team up front, the team was set, and I went up afterwards and said, hey, I'm excited for what you guys are doing. Can I pray for you? If there's anything I can help with the team to get ready for the trip, I'm willing to do that. And the leader at the time was Fred Muffett, and he's like, we actually had a physician assistant drop out. Can you go on the trip? It was like a huge shock to me. I'm like, I don't know. But that was my intro, and I made that leap, and almost 10 trips later, I would not regret that. I would encourage you guys to jump in, take that leap. God's going to teach you so much. You're going to see God's love firsthand, and to see his kingdom move in ways that you probably haven't seen here at home. So I'd encourage you to talk to the trip leaders. We're pretty friendly most of the time. But I just encourage you guys to seek that out. And if you're on that fence, take that leap, because you will not regret it.